Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors, or PICQS, brings you PICQS APC Talks Channel, or PATCH. Join us as we unravel the APC journey to success from three of our corporate members: Engineer Nieva Porcelis Cayo, Engineer Hermany Hildo Modrigo Jr., and Engineer Marvin Fernandez. Catch us as they give overviews on their respective case studies on cost overruns, basis of termination, recovery of damages, and ascertaining rectification costs of defects. All these and more on Saturday, 24th February, 3 p.m. Manila time. See you! Okay, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. I'm Arlene Joy Paredes, AJ, current National Secretary and Board of Trustee of PICQS, and I'm delighted to welcome all of you on our 13th session of PICQS APC Talks Channel, or PATCH. It is a beautiful Saturday evening from my part of the globe, and we are in for a treat because today we are going to have not one, but three chartered and certified professionals who will be sharing their APC journey with us. All the way from United Arab Emirates, UAE, Philippines, and from my neighbor here in Auckland, New Zealand. But before we get to that part, let me call in my partner for this evening's patch session, who is currently one of the chapter presidents of PICQS. So leading the PICQS Singapore chapter, she was once interviewed here in Patch, sharing her successful APC journey, which you can check through the recording in our YouTube channel, Patch with PICQS. So all the way from Singapore, let us all welcome Engineer Anthea Valdez. Hi, Thea.
Hi. Hello. Good day, everyone. And hi, everyone. And thank you for tuning into our 13th session of Patch. And by the way, AJ, congratulations to PICQS and the people behind Patch for this February, as it marks its third year since it was launched in February 2021 amidst the pandemic.
Yes, thank you very much, Anthea. Yes, Patch was launched in February of 2021, arising only from a mere conversation with Chair Julie back then, because PICQS was already starting our own APC. And then we were thinking, what platform could we utilize to raise awareness about the importance of going through an APC, or what is assessment of professional competence in the first place. So Patch here aims to provide overviews about chartered and certified professionals APC journey, PICQS structured trainings, and every quantity surveyor's road to becoming QS professionals to maximize their career potential. So we have been mentioning PICQS throughout our conversation. I think it would be good for you to share what is PICQS.
All right. So for those who are not so familiar with PICQS, Philippine Institute of Certified Quantity Surveyors is an all-Filipino QS organization with a global reach. So this year, turning 13, PICQS has formed 10 chapters around the globe in Philippines, UK, UAE, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, North America, Singapore, and for APAC chapter, we have members residing New Zealand, Australia, Brunei, Indonesia, and Cambodia. To patch up the needs and raise the value of the profession, PICQS offers structured trainings from level 1 to level 3 and conducts its own APC. With the level of training received by our members through structured trainings and CPDs, PICQS was recognized by other professional bodies where mutual recognition agreements are in play. So, wherever you are in the world, membership grade can be recognized by other professional bodies like the RICS, AIQS, NZIQS, and CIQS, to name a few.
So it's really great to have this APC, and I hope that as we go through this patch, and then as we touch and let the viewers know on what to expect as they sit on their APC interviews, I think it will motivate them to go and try there and challenge themselves, in doing this.
Definitely,
Okay,
AJ.
so but for this evening, since we have three guests who will be presenting their case studies, I think it is best that we start the ball rolling and then introduce
Mm-hmm.
them. Okay, so for our first featured guest this evening she is a corporate member of PICQS and a chartered member of RSES with her case study commercial management to MEP contractor to minimize the cost overruns and delay in project completion. She has a civil engineering background and she has taken PICQS structured training PAP 2 preparation for APC level 2 and is now a member of the PICQS Mentors League. She has been working overseas since 2008 and is currently with Parsons Corporation in UAE as contracts engineer. So, without further ado, let's welcome to our virtual stage Miss Nieva, Engineer Nieva Borselis Cayo. Yan. Hi, Miss Nieva. How are you? Hold on.
We are unable.
Okay. I think Miss Nieva, there's just a slight technical issue on the mic. Do you think you can speak again? Can you hear us? Yes. Oh, we can hear, but it's quite inaudible. It's a bit soft. Okay. So let's get back to Miss Nieva later. But I think Antea at this point, you can just go ahead, Miss Nieva, and unmute yourself and try and do a test mic. But as you do that, Antea here will introduce
Yeah,
our
yeah.
next featured.
Let's move on to our
Go ahead, Antea.
next super guest for this evening.
Yes.
And to join Miss Neva with us, here is another corporate member of PICQS with a civil engineering background and our currently our PAP 1 committee head. And he also has taken the full structured training of PICQS from P3T to PAP 1 and eventually sitting in for his APC. With
Wow.
his case study entitled Termination of Subcontract by the Subcontractor Due to COVID-19 Pandemic and Subsequent Government Imposition of Stringent Community Quarantines, the basis of the termination, rectification of defects, and recovery of liquidated damages. Everyone, let's all welcome with us tonight Mr. Engineer Ju Modrigo.
Engineer Ju Modrigo, welcome to Patch.
Hi everyone. Good day. Hi Taya, hi AJ, and Miss Nieva. Thank you for having me in touch. Hello everyone, every fellow PSPS members and non-members, of course, so all over the world.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for giving us a bit of your time and uh, accepting our invitation to be here with us in Patch tonight. So I would like to check back on Nieva. Caesar, okay? I think she's still
Okay,
changing.
let's give her some time. But we move on, AJ. So can you proceed to
Yep.
welcome our last guest for tonight?
Okay, so of course, the last but not the least, to complete our third batch of PICQS APC passers, batch 3, another corporate member of PICQS with his case study, ascertaining rectification cost for a defective work. He is also a civil engineer, has a civil engineer background, and has completed PICQS structured training from P3T to PAP 2. And so he has gone through levels 1 to 3 and is now a member of PICQS Mentors League. Okay, he has also recently finished his master for QS with Massey University here in Auckland, New Zealand. He has 11 years of work experience in the built environment as civil engineer and quantity surveyor in Philippines, UAE, Qatar, KSA, and now currently quantity surveyor for Stels Interiors Limited at Auckland, New Zealand. So let us welcome with us tonight Engineer Marvin Fernandez. Hi, Marvin.
Hello, good
Hi
evening.
AJ, and hi Antea, hi Neve, and hi Joe. So first of all, thank you for the invitation of having me here in the patch. I think it's quite a good uh, platform to share our experience and our knowledge from the APC, and to my fellow colleague here in Auckland, Kiora.
Oh, yes, kia ora, everyone. Okay, so thank you very much for accepting our invitation in being our featured guests here in Patch. Now, can we check back on Nieva?
Hello, can
Yes,
you hear
Engineer
me?
Nieva.
Okay. Good morning,
Oh,
good
there. Okay.
afternoon, and good
Yeah,
evening to all of
awesome.
you. Thank you for your invitation to share our knowledge in our APC journey. And we are happy to share actually.
Yes, of course. We're very excited to hear about your respective case studies. So I think to keep the ball rolling, we can proceed with the first question that we would like to ask all of you. No? Okay, why did you enroll in PICQS APC? I think we can start with Nieva since her mind now is perfectly working.
Actually, the reason why I joined the APC is I want to enhance my knowledge for my professional development. Being a civil engineer, we know that we don't have this complete knowledge. Especially for me, I'm working as a quantity surveyor and a contracts engineer here in UAE. So by this experience, I feel like my knowledge is not enough for me to be competitive in my profession or in my chosen career. So that's why um, while you have your different nationalities working with you, so I am thinking on how I will enhance my knowledge. So I when I heard the PICQS and other training agencies, I tried and I also do my self study just to enhance my career or my professional knowledge for
Yeah.
to do my job properly.
Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Thank you very much for sharing. Yes, another it is very vital for us to be competitive, to remain competitive. So the quantity surveying profession is a continuous learning experience. To me, that's how I see it. So I think everybody would agree, on that. So I think we can check on Ju on what's your reason why you enrolled in PICQS APC.
Yes. As what Miss Nieva said, we are civil engineers. Actually, we are not. Um, we don't have much background on quantity surveying. At least we know quantity surveying, but we don't. We have lacking of some competencies that required as a chartered or a certified QS. So essentially, I enroll in EPC, PICQS APC because simply I want to boost my career. Um, Thank you so much for PICQS dahil they have this structured training for all the members that I've gone through. So through the APC process, of course, with structured training, I know I will gain in-depth knowledge and understanding of the competencies that a chartered or a certified QS should have. This will fill gap that the lacking of competencies that I have when I was sorry, I'm still a civil engineer anyway. So uh, and also the importance of what are the right and what are the wrong things to do for a chartered QS or certificate QS. I think that's it.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you.
by the way,
Yes,
Adrian, sorry, I think
good.
it's very important to note, aside from uh, the knowledge, I think the benefits, I forgot to mention the benefits of being a certified QS. That's the one reason why I considered APC. It has the biggest cut of my reason why I continue APC because it will boost the confidence. Although I really have the not access to the standards in the practice of profession. So aside from that, there will be, as I said, professional advancement. There will be a high competitive salary awaits for you once you pass because you are recognized and you already have the brand. So it will give
Okay.
professional credentials. It will be professional credentials provide to the client confidence.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a lot of benefits already. So apart from the why
Yes.
you have enrolled in APC before you even enrolled, you already have this number of benefits that you have in mind that you think that you gain, or we're going to talk about that later. What benefits have already materialized, no? After you
Yes.
have gained your and you have passed your
As
PICQS
part of your
APC.
career plan, right, AJ? As part of your
Yes,
career plan, you already plan ahead. Why do you have to take it? Right?
yes. Yes, it's very
Yeah.
very nice to know you're already planning forward. If I take this,
Yes.
I'm going to have this, I'm going to reap these benefits. And then
That's
now that you're
true.
already preparing, you're even preparing for your RACS APC.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
all the best to that. Okay, let's hear
Can
it
we hear
from,
from Marvin?
yes, from Marvin.
Yeah. Thanks, AJ. So I think my two colleagues, Joe and Nieva, already mentioned the benefits of this APC. And for me, there are two things why I decided to enroll in the APC. Initially, I don't know that there's a APC for PICQS. It started my journey in the PICQS, I think way back 2015 when I
Wow.
met Ma'am Ason Lopez in Qatar in one of the Toastmaster
Mm,
Club.
Oh.
Yeah, but my journey in PICQS is not straightforward. So when I transferred in the UAE, I was not active during the time, and I was only motivated to be pursue the APC when I attended the contract administration class of Dr. Sam, where on those class he mentioned that if you are QS, you should attend at least an APC or be a member of any QS organization to at least improve yourself on the knowledge. And on the same time, since I've been working for most of my career in a subcontractor, it's very hard to grasp the correct practice of a QS in terms of estimation and contract administration. And during the COVID pandemic, that opens my eyes on the competitiveness of the market and the QS, especially for the competitions such as people with chartership or people with the educations, right educations with the QS. Because as you know, as Filipinos, we don't have proper school for QS. So that's the main driving force for me. That's the reason why I pursue APC and PICQS. So I started with P3T, followed by PAP1 and GAMP. So that
Mhm.
promotes my professionalism in terms of knowing more about the profession and in loving more about the profession. So the guidance of also the members of PICQS also boost my interest on pursuing APC and guiding me on how to be a proper QS, which is not only about estimating, but it's all about post related in a project. So from inception to completion. So I think that is
Yeah.
my main reason.
No. Okay, thank you very much for that, Marvin. And all three of you have really shared, bits and pieces, and then as in its entirety, it boils down to one conclusion. An APC now is a necessity. It's no longer a choice of whether if you want to stay competent or if you want to stay in the business. You have to take APC. You have to do a proper career planning on the way forward. No?
true.
Do you have any
Yes.
objections
Yeah,
on
that's
that?
correct.
I think everyone would agree
I,
with it because
And
what our goal is when we have a career plan, we're looking at the benefits. How could it help us in the future, in the long run? And APC
in
is
the
one
long
of
run.
it.
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
And but before we move on, AJ,
Thank you
let's
for,
hear from shout out to JC because JC is
yes.
a Jew counselor and he's really proud of you. So he's saying that the Jew is a very determined and very willing candidate to grow and learn. So he's really proud of you, Ju.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much, JC. Thank you very much for tuning in, and it's really nice to have you here in Patch. Yeah, as on the supporting us in Patch on the hindsight. Ayan. So let's move on to the next question. I think Thea, would you like to raise the next
Yes,
question?
for our next question, we would like to know how did you choose your case study? We know that it's very important. It's one of the major part of your preparation is to prepare a case study. So how did you choose your topic for your case study?
Let's start with Drew.
Yeah. Case studies vital in your APC assessment. No, during during the final interview, you'll be given in PICQS APC. You'll be given 5 minutes for presenting, and that's the only time that you can control the 1 hour interview. So it's very important, and you will be asking questions for about 10 minutes. As I remember. So, how did I choose my case study? First, I have listed all the issues that I encountered in the project, the current project that I um with. So you identify the issues, you list it down, then later on you narrow it down. You have to. I have what I did was I choose the topic or issue that is more on focus or specific that I could and that I could uh, make sure that I
Develop.
could explain it, and I could
Uh-huh.
whenever whatever happened during the interview, because you will be the one demonstrating your competencies through that case study. That's very
Yes.
important. Uh, yeah, it should be relevant also during the period of your APC. It should be relevant and timely. Then, as much as possible, yeah, at as much as possible, you have to be precise, focus on the issue. Otherwise, the assessor will go around and they will throw you a lot of questions, and you will find yourself sitting in the next APC again. Yeah,
In short, you will be referred.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Drew. Okay, so there are 3 points that you have mentioned. First, you have to know what you've gone through. This is something that you should have experienced, and then you need to narrow down the topics, or you need to select what are the key issues, and then you have to make sure that you can answer the question once they have asked you anything that's related to this case study. Okay, fair point. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's hear it from Marvin.
Thanks, AJ. So for me in selecting my case study, I have a difficulty at first because I was working for a subcontractor, specialized contractor on waterproofing for bridges for infrastructure projects. So for me, finding a case study is quite challenging because if you refer on how to select a case study, you should select a issue on any project that will stop or has critical effect on specific projects, whereas that that is limited if you are working on a subcontractor, and it's quite a timing when there's a issues arise when one of our projects in the UAE where it chokes the projects because the waterproofing is on the critical path and the project could not proceed if the issues will resolve. So I think it's just perfect timing that when I'm doing my APC, that specific issues arise. And when I first when I first presented my case study to one of my uh, counselor or one of my mentor, initially he's thinking that it's not fit for QS because it's more on project management. And then when I look back on all the elements of that case study, I found out that there's still cost element and time element which is related to the QS. And when I rewrite it on black and white and I submit it back to my mentor, they said that it's qualified for a QS case study. So it's quite a journey on selecting a case study. I know that the fellow QS that is preparing for their APC, it's quite hard to find a good case study because it's not only that you should know what are the details, but you should know by heart why you selected those options because it will be criticized or scrutinized during the APC interview, which is I find it. I was surprised that one case study will highlight your whole career. So that is the highlight of a case study for me.
Oh, very well said, Marvin. Thank you very much for that insight, and I will keep that in mind. It's nice. It's worth sharing to our viewers, saying that if your case study should determine or should reflect your entire career, which is really true because every time, even the moment that you're writing your respective statement of experience, it is already a reflection of what went throughout your entire career, no? and then
Yes.
and then your case study would be the highlight of it. Thanks, Marvin and Ju. Now let's hear it from Neva.
Okay. For me, when I choose my case study, what I have in mind is first, it should be interesting. Then, second, should be not common because a lot of people are doing their APC. So, this is when you are on your APC, this is the first presentation that you will show to your assessor. So, I believe in the first impression. So if they're
Yeah.
impressed in your case study and your presentation and how you manage to present and defend your case study, that I think that's the highlight of your APC interview. And then actually during that time when I'm doing my case study, I do two. Actually, I've done two. Then when I'm looking at it, oh my, I need to choose because really, it's really tough. It should be the when you present it on the title itself, it should be catchy. So if it will not be catchy, I don't know if that the assessor will really pass your APC interview. That's for me.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
thank
thank
you
you,
for that.
Neva. I remember when Neva said that it's the highlight of your interview. Yes, because it's the first 5 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
for RICS, like it's first 10 minutes, right? For
Mm-hmm.
PICQS, it's the first 5 minutes. You really have to impress your assessors,
Yes.
and then after
It's
that,
the
it's followed by a
mhm.
Q and
Actually, the
A.
first impression really matters, to be honest.
It really
When I've done
matters.
my interview, yeah. Then after that case study presentation and question and answer and everything follows.
Because it will
That's the
Everything.
affect
that's the thing.
your confidence and
Yes,
the
correct.
entire interview if you are like, okay, you failed to answer the Q&A during the case study, because the case study is comprised of several competencies. It's not just the
Mm-hmm.
statement of experience.
Yes.
I think a few competencies can be captured in one case study, because you have to
Yeah.
highlight your critical analysis there. You have to you will be scrutinized like what Marvin said, and then Ju mentioned about the importance, the impact of the case study as in your career. So all in all, the case study, actually, if you are unable to manage it, to go through that first stage, it will really affect the whole interview. And
Mm-hmm.
integrity really matters, because I was mentioned, one of the mentors before told me that it's very important that you have that integrity in writing your case study, that it is true, that it really happened. If you want to
Yeah.
make it up, just to have a case study, because it's really difficult to find a case study, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you just make it up, you will definitely fail, because you don't know what happened in actual on that scenario, if it's a
And
Yes.
then
real.
So
you for the question that the assessor are asking you, you don't know what are those questions. So really, the preparation itself is really tough.
yes. Yes.
Yes,
So
we
we are
have
actually Yeah, so we are actually just on the second question asking, how did you choose your case study? And it already reflected the hurdles that you've gone through in selecting the case study, before putting your best effort forward in developing the case study and anticipating the questions that would come out from it. Okay, so next question. I'm getting really excited because after these questions, you're going to present your case study itself. So I believe everybody is
Mhm.
excited to see that. So let's move to our next question, which is, what can you consider as your greatest challenge preparing for the APC? Yeah, so I think for this question, oops, it's Nieva's time to answer it first.
Okay, actually, my greatest challenge for me is really the time. Since we are working with the kids, studying the pandemic, online study for the kids, you need to guide them. So really, this is really tough for me during that time. But then, because of course, support of my husband, with my family, and my counselor and my mentor, especially Miss Noemi, she is really the best support that I have during that time. Then,
Mm.
yeah, but of course, it always come from ourselves, because even if someone are helping us, they, if we are not going to do our part, it will not happen. That's the only thing. But what I want to tell to the one who will try the APC, just focus and do what is your goal. That's always the thing that you need to remember. That's
Wow.
for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Coming from a mother herself, what's your goal? And then do whatever you must.
Yeah.
And then, yes. So, let's put our hands together. And I would like to commend the family, your support group, because it's really a big help. No? If you don't have the proper support group, not just from the PICQS family, but also from your internal, your own family. Because if you don't have that, especially that you're a mom of not one but two kids,
Yeah.
wow. And then you're also doing homeschooling. Wow. Okay. And to share, no, Miss Nieva here, Engineer Nieva here has done her APC in 2 consecutive days for RICS and for PICQS. So that's how multitasking she is.
That's
Okay.
what mother is, right?
Amazing. That's a Wonder Woman. That's a Wonder Woman move. Congratulations, congratulations, Nieva, for that. You really deserve like a pat on the back for doing this. Now let's hear it from Drew.
I think Miss Nieves already said it all. Hey, time, always time is it. Um, you know, we have family also. While we're doing our obligations sa bahay with family, we also have obligations of work. At the same time, doing your structured training with the APC process. That's a huge challenge already. Um, it's only a matter of I would say time management, but it's really difficult. I remember I we went to market. I let my wife go to buy some stuff, and I just stayed in the car and reading the notes. Um, it's very difficult. My during the structured training, my wife was pregnant, and I also cannot sleep when she give birth. I had no sleep at all. Well, while babysitting, you have to read the notes, and you have to go to work again. And during lunchtime, you have to sneak and try to read some notes again. It's a challenge. The APC alone is a challenge. So you just need to do yourself, as what I mentioned many times. Do your best. Everything will
Yes.
follow.
Yeah.
Everything will follow.
That's
There's
right.
a lot of help. I'm very glad that I have NBP, JC. He give a big push. Muntik na ako masubsob, sabi pa nga niya. No, he was a really great mentor. He really pushed me hard. He gave me a lot of insights. I just it's at the end of the day, it's you as a candidate. Ikaw pa rin yung mananaig diyan. Ikaw yung magdedesisyon sa sarili mo kung paano mo ipu-push yung APC mo. So you have to be determined. Do your best. Everything will follow.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a nice quote, no? Do your best and everything will follow. And of course,
Exactly.
shout out to JC. Thank you very much for the extra push that he almost fell off the but you landed on the right spot, Ju. You landed on your APC. So I think is it
Yes.
just me or we're expecting like a slight lag
Yeah,
on the streaming here,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
or is it Ju?
There's a bit lag on your end, Miss AJ, but
Also
it's just
for
like
Okay,
a
me,
bit second
also
only.
lost.
But just to add on to that, other
okay.
than JC, let's give a like an applause to every counselors, because they also have families and they're also working. They also
Yeah.
have their things at their hands, but they are giving effort, the their time and effort to support candidates, aspiring candidates like us, to like to be part of our career growth.
Just to add,
So
Yes.
Kaya, no, and AG, this is the beauty of PICQS. Kasi they will really help you up. They will be all throughout the process. Nandiyan sila. Not just in BP, a lot of mentors. Ma'am
Mhm.
Noemi, I could name a lot of mentors that they really contributed to my success in APC. That's the
Mm.
beauty of PICQS. Kaya those who really still waiting when the time I will go for APC, don't waste time. Just go and grab the APC. There's a lot of help along the way.
yes.
Yes. Just go for it, no? When it's done, it's done. That phrase I heard from our past national president, engineer Enrico
Mm-hmm.
Chavez. Yeah. So when it's done, it's done. So do it because he's my counselor. Hi.
Oh.
Okay. So let's hear it from Marvin.
Yes.
yeah. So I think after hearing the greatest challenge from Yeva and Ju, I think my challenges could not be compared to them. Yeah, because first of all, we have already mentioned the time and the sacrifices that you should uh, undertake for your family, because you are, instead of spending your time with your family on the weekends, you're spending it alone doing your studies and doing your mock interviews. And I think that's the greatest challenge that I have faced during the APC. So, for example, for myself, uh, I have 4 years old son during that time, and
Wow.
every every time I came from work, so instead of spending time with my family, I stay in the office or do the review in the home, familiarizing all on the questionnaires, and waking up early in the morning just to at least have an hour to review or read the competency questions, just to familiarize yourself and absorb all the knowledge that you will be needing for that 1 hour APC questions that we will be asked out of the blue
Mhm.
question. So yeah, I think that is the challenge that I have. So the time that we'd be spending on preparation instead of spending it to your family, which is more valuable, but it's worth it in the end.
Yes, after all you're
Yeah.
doing it for them. So
Actually, I want to add actually, yeah,
go
because
ahead.
my son is asking me, "Mommy, parents have their time for their kids, right?" That's a question that he asked me really, and I feel guilty. And I
Ouch.
told him, it's really, I feel guilty when he asked me like that. Then I told him, this is for your future. Just give this time to your
Mhm.
mom. Then after this, all my time is for you. Really?
Oh,
It's
Yes.
really tough if you have kids.
Yes.
But the thing is, we don't have other option, no?
we
That's
feel
Yeah,
the
you. We
I
are
can.
all
situation.
parents here, so
Yeah,
we really feel you, Miss Nieva.
Yeah, so it's nice to have this discussion with co-parents, no? So we have faced the same struggles as we go through our respective careers, not just on the APC itself, but in our careers in its entirety. But look at where you are now. Look at where have we gone after all these hardships, and after all, we are offering this, or we are doing this for the benefit not just for us but for our family.
For
So
our
thank
loved
you
ones.
very much for sharing, yes, your insights on this. We're actually on the third question and I'm about to cry, but
Yeah, I
because
really
I
got
also
worried
have
with what Eva has shared. What I remember all of the struggles
exactly,
also
and
last
to
time.
Marvin, when you have a toddler, they're always very inquisitive. But for Marvin, in Marvin's case, he has a 4-year-old at the time when he was taking APC. So you can you imagine, like, when you're trying to review and then your toddler would come to you and say, "Dad, can we play?" So it's really
Yeah,
so
exactly.
for him to go through that, he would stay outside. He would stay in his office and then do the review. But yes, it didn't stop there. It didn't stop him from achieving his goal because he went through it, and now he even got another achievement, which is the MSQS. So congratulations. You can
Yeah,
see the fruits of your labor. So congratulations to the three of you. Actually, to all of us, no, for doing everything
Doing
we
the hard
can
work.
for our
really true. And also, we're all like working overseas. It's good to know that now even AJ now is with her son. So like the challenges of working overseas, and also these challenges that to enhance our career for the benefit of our loved ones is really strike. What Miss Eva shared.
So Patch here is not just a talk of APC, but it's also a family, a family oriented sharing. It's really nice. Okay, so that is the greatest challenge that you have all faced. Now we move on to the next
Next,
question.
our fourth question. Uh, what are the top three things to do while you are preparing for your APC? Maybe let's hear it first. Miss Neva again. Maybe we would like
Okay.
to hear it from you.
Again, me. Okay.
You
That
again.
actually, the three things, as I mentioned a while ago, it's the focus and dedication. Because, balancing time is really tough. Uh, we mentioned before the kids, our work, and, the trainings that we need to attend. Then the most important thing for me is the support from our peers, from our family, and our mentor. That's I think for me that's the key into being to becoming for being as in successful in my APC. The focus, dedication, and the training and the support from all of them. And of
Wow.
course, I cannot. This is my thing. Maybe without the PICQS because during my training in APC, when I'm maybe if I didn't join the PAP2, I don't know what I'm going to do because me, I'm an introvert person, and I'm really I'm not a person that when they ask me to do this interview, I feel like, oh, am I going to accept this or not? Because really, I'm not really in the public thing, so this is really tough for me. That's the only
But
thing
yeah,
for
it's really,
Yeah, I
but
remember. Sorry, I
go
managed to
ahead, go
convince Miss Neva. I say you will be with Julia and Marvin. Don't worry, you won't be alone. So she agreed.
I'm supposed to
Okay,
be, I
AJ.
will say no. Because, okay, my excuse is I have work, but of course, we can always have time if we want. But anyway, I want to share because I want to help my fellow Filipinos and, who wants to do this APC journey. That's the reason why I say yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much always for saying yes. And I hope that I believe that a lot of people or a lot of our viewers, fellow members, or even non-members will benefit once they see this, once they see what you have gone through, once they go and see and get a feel of what you have presented, your case study, the things that you're sharing with them, the tips on what to go, what to do, and what not to do, what to consider. Everything is on them, so it's on their hands now. So what is left to do? It's to challenge yourself and then make your move, right? Because it's just on us. Once we have laid them and then give them or do this sharing, which I really appreciate that you've done and you have agreed to do, the next step is for them to ponder on what they're going to do with their respective careers. Okay, so now let's check and see what Drew has to say. What are the top three things to do while preparing for your APC?
Yeah. First, you have to do your assessment. Make a self-assessment. It's very important. There is a downloadable form in RICS website that you can download. You can use that. Uh, it's available, and read the APC guide, the PICQS APC guide that was available before in the old website. I'm not quite sure if it's already in the new website. And review the competencies. It's also very important that you make up your mind, and bear in mind that once you started it, enroll it, there's no turning back. You have to be fixed on that, firm on that. Now, if you find yourself if you believe that there's still lacking in competencies, that's why PICQ is there. They are offering the P3T, the level 1, and POP1, the level 2. uh, Laging maraming enrollees, so kaya you have to make yourself available always pag
Sign up na.
feeling mo lalaking ka pa. So that's the first one. The second one is you have to be honest on your submission. You have to write based on what you have learned, what you have practiced in your work, and what you have given advice, because later on napakadali na lang ng proseso. So pag when you demonstrate, when you were given opportunity to demonstrate during your final interview the competencies based on your write-ups, it will be easy for you. It's like natural. You're just explaining what you have learned. Then the next last item uh, is doing your best. I keep saying that doing your best. It includes reviewing carefully your submission. Me, I have to read through again and again and again. Even I posted it in the wall, behind the door. Before I open the door, I have to read at least few paragraph. It's like you are doing your licensure examination when you are civil engineering time. So read it, go for it. Always read it, and then list down possible questions that may come up in your submission. Remember that the submission is used by the assessors to develop their questions during the interview. So there's a lot of preparation that you have to do. I think that's the three takeaways that I can give for now.
Thank you very much, Drew. Antea, what do you
Yes,
remember? What
it's
are
like
those things?
yes, like what Jude shared, like is everyone could relate. We all been through APC. So it's very important that you definitely review your competencies, whatever you have written in it. Because what the assessors are doing now, they're just clarifying what you have written. Just making sure they're just ensuring that you actually know what you just need to prove to them that these are actually what really happened and transpired in in your career
Clear.
journey. And then you have to be honest, because whatever they will know. There's one assessor, how come you don't know this competency, or this this question? You've written it in your case study. They will be frank, and they will be frank during an interview. They will question you, why did you write it in your case study, because they will ask you over and over again. So if you're not honest with what you're writing, they will definitely catch you on it, because they will study it as well. And again, what you've been sharing, Jude, to do your best and everything shall follow. It's really like this is really important for everyone who are aspiring to becoming a certified QS.
Yes. So now let's
Yes.
hear it from Marvin.
Yeah. So I think my colleague Joe and Nieva already emphasized the preparation for the APC, but for myself it's a little bit different because in preparation for this APC, I have three things in mind at first. So I have the time, discipline, and consistency. So first, I get an approval from my from my family to prepare for this EPC because I will take a lot of times to to study. I spend a lot of times doing mock interviews. So that is the first step that I have done. So I get an approval from my family to take APC and explaining what to be expected in terms of time allocation in my studies and on the family. The second one is once you have enrolled on APC, PICQS will provide you a mentor. And for me, luckily for me, I have two mentor. So my PICQS mentor is Ma'am Lilian Garon, which is she is quite patient and kind on everything that I ask for, let's say, reviewing case study, reviewing summary of experience. And the second one is Ma'am Noemi. So uh, during my APC journey, there's a lot of struggles and questions that I could not resolve by myself. So I will be requiring the experts and knowledge and guidance by my mentors. So it's very crucial to maintain a good relationship to the mentors because first of all, they are giving their time freely. They are giving the advice and they have been on that shoes before. So you should value the advice that from them because that is based on the experience and that is the way you will accomplish your APC. And the third one in preparing for APC is self-discipline. This is the core one because I heard in one of the lecture in PICQS that PICQS is like a it's like a ladder. You will you will use the ladder to climb the APC, but it's depend on you on how you use that ladder. You have all the trainings that you
Yes.
have, that is the ladder. You have all the mentors that you have, that is the ladder. But it's depend on you as the APC candidates to use that ladder to pass the APC. So the self-discipline on spending more time on doing the studies, scheduling all the mock interview, and be more confident, developing more confident and skills and knowledge embedded in your self. So in the APC day, you have the confidence and knowledge to answer all those questions. So those are the three things that I have or I would be recommending for fellow QS that will be undertaking APC. It's not easy, as mentioned by my colleague Joe, that I think it's more than preparation of the board exam because I have prepared my board exam way in 2010 and I've been struggling for 6 months with all the formulas and questionnaires in the wall when I take my review. But EPC is totally different. It's like combination of preparation for board exam and practicing Toastmaster because
Oh,
you need to learn how to express yourself. You need to learn how to answer the questions in a concise and correct manner. So it's quite a package. So that is for me, it's three things. You need to have time, discipline, and good relationship with your family and your mentors. So I hope that that's a good share for others.
yes.
Actually, I
Thank
want
you
to
very
add
much,
up.
Marvin. So it's time, discipline, and consistency. Yes, go,
Yeah.
sis.
I want to add up about this. Don't, for me, the only thing that I want to tell them is don't be afraid to ask question and ask for help. Because if you will not going to ask for help or and ask question, you will not know. And no one will help you, of course, if you're not going to ask for it. That's it.
Of course. So, and the golden rule there is ask and you shall receive. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's very good. We're picking up a lot of quotable quotes and lessons to live by as we go through these questionnaires. No, but I think for us or for you also to take a bit of a break. I think we can flash and then because we have a number of comments coming in from our viewers. One, we have Eric. Thank you for sharing your journeys. It's a pleasure, Eric. I believe that they are very honored to be here as well. They're very much willing. And we have Eric Ada. Congratulations, Ju. I'm proud of your achievements and good luck on your RICS APC journey. Yan. And one more from Manolito. I think Manolito here is raising a question. Question: Is the APC for PICQS similar to RICS?
Who should answer this?
My, yeah, go ahead, Antea.
Siguro, okay, I will share. Miss Nieva also might share also later since she's already taken RICS. I think for the process, it's almost similar. So, the structure of PICQ's APC is very close to RICS APC. Difference is first on the case study. So the length of the presentation. So we have 5 minutes with PICQS, we have 10 minutes with RICS. The template, of course, there is some differences, but if you will look at it, it still has the same, competencies and same contents requesting like for the statement of experience. And then for the number of words, I think for case study, there are more words as Miss Nieva with RICS,
Yeah.
right?
No, it's just
We
the
have
same. I think it's just the same.
1,500.
Only the summary, the what you call that,
the summary of
the
experience,
summary of
the
experience. There are some added by the PICQS.
yes, some added by PICQs. But
Yes.
if you
Mm-hmm.
will like compare it, you can still use your
It's just the same.
PICQs if you're already
Yeah.
in PICQs and then you want to try RICS as well. You can use the competencies or the experiences that you have written there. What's a good thing is that if you're already a member of PICQS, you have this privilege of attending our structured training. So you
Mm.
will be
Yes.
guided. And most of our mentors also are our counselors are also chartered members of RICS, so they can also help you out if you are planning to go with RICS. And then the structured training for PICQS actually uh, is like compatible to all professional bodies because all professional bodies actually are more aligned to each other, right? So it's a good thing if you're ready. If you're not yet a PICQS member, I think it's a good thing now that you sign up for membership so that you can also experience the benefits
Yes.
of this structured training. So you will be guided to take PICQS first,
Yeah.
and then if you want to pursue RICS, then you can be assisted as well and guided. And in the future, we will have, we're actually looking forward to have this MOU with RICS. So if you are an APC passer of PICQS, then you can have the direct entry with RICS as well in the future. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, I think that
Actually,
would be,
the long and short. Yeah, the
yes,
long
yes.
and short explanation or comparison between RCS and PICS is it's similar in a way because the technical, the core, and the mandatory competencies are the same. So the way that you're going to discuss your APC, it's just a matter what Antea discussed here is the differences in terms of how they administer the APC, how it's being conducted. 5 minutes versus 10, and then the questions. But since we follow the same principle, because the main aim of these professional bodies is for quantity surveyors to operate and do their jobs as quantity surveyors following the same principle. So that's the main aim. So that's why whatever APC you take, whichever professional body you go to, you will have you or let's say RCS between RCS and PICQS, you will most likely experience the same level of should I say difficulty or so the same level, the
The
same level of
challenges,
challenge. Yeah. So
challenges, yes.
thank you for raising that question, Manolito.
She has a
Uh,
follow-up question. Actually, has two follow-up questions about this RICS.
mm,
So possible the submission I provide during APC SOC RICS can be used as for MRICS APC. You have to take note that in every APC, there is a certain duration for the validity of your submissions. So I'm not sure. I've never tried ASOC RICS, so I cannot answer uh, in that part. But for MRICS, then I think you have just to check with your counselor to be guided on this process. And he has another question. Actually, it's the same questions that he has raised. So yeah, and from Rovi Mar, lastly, he would like to thank everyone, our guests for tonight, for continually inspiring everyone. So and to get off from our comfort zone. Yeah, that's the key here. Keynote here. Put a pressure on yourself to grow.
Yes. Wow. Thank you, Rovi, and I hope that we have given you the extra push. Okay. Hope we've
Register
given you
na.
the extra.
Register na.
Yes. Okay. So now let's go and then check our next question before our featured guests share their respective case studies. Oh, this is our last. So, what do you anticipate to happen after passing APC? Let's start with Marvin.
Yeah. So uh, during the preparation of the APC, so I was anticipating to get higher salary. To be honest. But uh, aside from that, so aside from the competition, aside from leveling on the competitions on the market, so I will be expecting myself after passing the APC that I will have more knowledge and correct knowledge to apply as a QS, because as I observed during my career that there are a lot of wrong practices in QS. So for example, in estimation, there are no standards for some companies in estimations, as well as on choosing the right of contract for the right project. So if you are not undertaking the right training and you are working as a QS, you could not distinguish what is the correct contract to be used on a certain projects than the other. So by undertaking the APC, you will learn all those correct practices in the industry for a QS. And after I passed the APC, I could tell that I could be more competitive towards the other because I have that knowledge, correct way on using the QS knowledge on how to benefit the projects. For example, on using right standard method of measurements for takeoffs and choosing the right forms of contract for the right projects. So that is the anticipation, and I think that anticipation I have gained through my EPC, and I'm more confident that I will be providing more right service to my employer as a QS, and thanks to EPC for that knowledge that I have gained, and I have gained confidence in the same way.
Wow, thank you for that, Marvin. No, that's a very heartfelt appreciation to the APC because it's really the giving us the foundation on how we should practice the profession. And yes, I agree with you when you say you gain more confidence in how you perform your work, and also I also agree with you. I think in our respective workplace, you can see a number of things that are not being done properly, and so once that you have and we're equipped with the proper training and we have the proper license or we have the proper certification and recognition, then we can give advice and say this is the right way to do it, no? Okay. Thank you for that. Now let's hear it from Nyeva.
Okay, for me, after passing my APC, actually it's actually a self fulfillment. And then really my self confidence, got really. And then after this APC, when I got my chartered membership, before I have doubt on myself if am I doing it correct? That's my question. That's why if someone is asking me, my first question to myself, am I right or what? So instead of saying something, I'm not saying anything because I don't know and I'm not confident during that time. But when I do my APC, all the trainings and pass my APC, my self-confidence is higher compared to before. And then,
Mm.
to be honest, right now, after I have this chartered membership, a lot of company are offering me a good, actually salary, yes, and a good position. Yeah, really. This is my experience after I updated my profile in LinkedIn. A lot of people are sending me message almost every day, every week. They are sending me message, but I decline because, of course, I need to,
You need to
to
prioritize
yeah,
and
and
choose.
we need to choose because we don't know. So that's the thing after I passed the APC.
Mm, nice. Yeah,
Yes,
so a lot of opportunities went
yes.
knocking after
Mhm.
you have
And
passed the
not only, it's all are international company actually. All of them that before when I'm applying job on that companies, they are declining. But then when I pass the APC, all of them are sending message to me. The,
Now it's
really, that's
overflowing.
a
It's
reality. Yeah, because
overflowing.
so you don't know and you're thinking, am I going to accept this before you don't want to accept me? That's the thing. But
because they're
anyway,
aware.
yeah, because
They're
most
aware
of
of
you are married.
the process. Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyway,
And now
having the
let's
last
hear
in your name.
Let's hear from Marvin.
from Ju.
From you.
Sorry, from you.
It's okay. I should be contacting frequently, Miss Nieva. Um,
For opportunities.
for opportunities, yes. Thank you for sharing, Miss Nieva. You can refer me. Um, okay, putting myself before my APC, before passing my APC, I was thinking why I'm doing this. Anyway, um, I my anticipation would be I will be much better me after passing the APC. Meaning, before there is a confidence, but the confidence that you cannot you cannot express your opinion because you don't have that confidence yet. Um, Although you think you are right, but you cannot express it because you don't have courage to say it because don't have yet that can support.
The-
You don't have credentials. I mean, um,
yes.
that was one confidence. Again, the career advancement. I will refer to my first to my answer to the first question. The benefits of having passed the EPC. There's a lot of benefits. The two guests already mentioned highly competitive salary is waiving.
Waving.
Waving.
So that's the meat of that career advancement. Of course, we are not just working for nothing. We are working for that. Yeah, we have to be
Mm-hmm.
practical. And another one is I think the you could you could now provide a reasoned advice with confidence. When I it's a process. It's a process that you cannot just jump immediately because now I am certified. I can give you advice. No, it's the process. There's a process for that. Slowly, you will be there. But at least as a certified QS, you have now in mind. Take note that we, as a corporate member of PICQS, we are a brand ambassador of institute. We have the high standard of the institute that we are upholding. So we give advice. We just not give advice based on what our opinion. We base it based on facts, based on contracts, what the contract says. And aside from contracts, we balance. There is a natural law. We have to be fair, and a professional ethics is there. So now you can give a recent advice that will give you confidence, and the client is also confident that you are giving him a good advice that he can later on consider in his whatever it is. So I think that is the confidence there is, the benefits that I mentioned in the first questions. There's a lot of benefits, and then yeah, they said it all. So I think I have talked a lot already. Thank you.
Agree. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Drew, Marvin, and Nieva, for sharing your insights on what do you anticipate to happen. But to me, I have one statement for the three of you. I've seen Drew already doing and heading the PAP1 for PICQS, and I think what I anticipate to happen after passing your APC is to see you being more active and then reaching out and paying it forward like what you're doing right now. You being here with us in Patch and sharing your journey is already a step forward of paying it forward and also enhancing what our viewers are to look forward to or their talents as well. Because experience shared is also an experience gained by the people that we share it with, right? So, and now I think Rovi Mar would like to comment and say, be with us, sir, ma'am, from inception to completion of this journey. Okay, from inception to completion, you're already looking at 3 or 4 or 5 of potential as mentors. But yes, Rovi, it's all up to you. Yeah. So we're challenging
Yeah.
you and giving you the extra
It's
push.
always from you.
Yes. Okay. So why don't we take a quick break? We'll just flash in like a quick 2 minute video on what is the QS quantity surveying profession and the APC. So you can see technical, mandatory, and core competencies that you need to go through and see whether you already have done those things or you have a similar experience in those competencies. No? And then we will jump into the case study presentation first with Marvin. Okay, so stay tuned, and here's our video. Okay, there you have it. Thank you very much. And that's a 2 minute quick break for us, for all of us. And now here is Marvin Fernandez, Engineer Marvin Fernandez, who will share with us his case study of ascertaining the rectification cost for defective work. The floor is yours now, Marvin.
Thanks, AJ. So I will be presenting my case study, which I have presented on my APC. So for those aspiring to sit on their APC, so there's a lot of work on developing the case study, and I will be showing on how to present your case study, and at the same time, I could give you at least some insights on how case study works on the APC. So the title of my case study is Ascertaining the Rectification Cause for Defective Work. So these presentations of the case study composed of six parts, in which first by the project details, background of the key issue, the approach, the outcome, the lesson learned, and the conclusion. So the project is about a 7 kilometer infrastructure project in Abu Dhabi with the main contractor contract price of 300 million for 2 years duration. And our scope of work, since we are the subcontractor for the bridge deck waterproofing, our subcontract is 3.5 million for 3 months duration. So I work as a contract engineer for the waterproofing company, which my role includes contract administration and commercial management. So when we started our work on the site to apply our membrane, we have checked the adhesion between the waterproofing and the concrete of the bridge. So this is the quality issue. So 95% of the adhesion test is below the specification requirements, which the specification required 2 megapascal, and the area for the three bridges is 24,000 square meter, in which all the area is failed to attain those specification requirements. So as a result, there's a time issue. The engineers stop the work on the site until the adhesion is rectified. So since the waterproofing is in the critical path, the succeeding activities such as the asphalt and expansion joint could not proceed. So this means that on the cost, the contractor will be liable or facing the risk of liquidated damages, including our company. And another issue is that no one from the all the stakeholders want to shoulder the cost, starting from the concrete subcontractor, main contractor, and waterproofing company, which is the company that I have worked with. So to resolve the issues, we have identified three options to resolve the defects. The first one is the typical one, which is the concrete subcontractor will rectify the defects, in which by removing all the concrete in the substrate and replacing with the high standard of concrete. So the advantage includes compliance with the specification, lower the cost. However, the rectification requires 38 days on top of the existing schedule. This will result on 8.8 million liquidated damages for the main contractor. And since the stakeholders already lose the confidence on the concrete subcontractor, they are not confident that if he will rectify the defects, that it will be complying as per the specification. And the basis of this is as per the subcontract. So the concrete subcontractor has the obligations to repair any defects. Whereas for the second option is that the employer will accept the re-specification. So since all the test result is below the specification, the employer could accept it. The advantage includes the work could just resume immediately without any repairing the defects. And there is a cost saving for the client for 1.6 million. And the basis of that is based on the abatement principle. And as per the UAE Civil Code Article 246, says that if the client will accept any defective work, any rectification cost on that will be cost saving to the client. However, the disadvantage of this specific option is that it's not complying with the specification, and there's a risk on the maintenance period of the bridge that there's a high cost on rectifications. And then on the option three, which is the waterproofing contractor will strengthen the substrate using silicate material to apply on the surface. So the advantage of this includes specification compliance. However, the big disadvantage is that it has the highest cost, as well as there's a 22 days more on the schedule, which resulted in 6.5 million in liquidated damages to the main contractor. And the basis of this is based on the experience and laboratory testing on that material to improve the strength of the concrete by applying it. So the outcome of this is that I have recommended the option three, and the client and the engineers accepted that recommendation. And additional measures has been undertaken to prevent the liquidated damages to the main contractor by accelerating the works to make sure that the project will be completed on time by allocating more resources on each works. So this resulted in the project is completed on time and with quality, and the rectification cost plus acceleration cost is shouldered by the concrete subcontractor. So for this case study, there are three things that I have learned. So the first one is requirements for a pre-testing for the concrete on bridges. So initially, as per the specification of the main contract, this is not given there. And the engineer on the contract adopted these additional pre-testing requirements for the future projects. And the second one is the importance of teamwork and communication in the dispute, because initially, during the occurrence of the key issue, each stakeholders pass the blame towards another, and no one is taking the stand to unite and address the issue instead of attacking each stakeholders and passing the causes to specific parties. And the third one is the importance of having a knowledge on latest construction technology, because without having those knowledge, you will come out with different solutions that will create more issues on the specific issue. And to conclude this case study, cost of poor quality has always associated with more costs incurred on a project. So, for example, for the concrete subcontractor, instead of doing the work on the right way as per the specification, so he incurred costs for rectification plus the acceleration. So you could see that there's a hidden cost there on poor quality of work. The second one is the cost saving now versus the future risk the client should be properly studied. This is applicable not only in this case study, but also on the value engineering that we are undertaking on our projects, because we don't know if the cost saving that we are cost saving now will have a cost implication to the client in the future, which is a risk and should be properly assessed and mitigated. The third one is the acceleration costs versus liquidated damages that usually occurred to the main contractor, because there's always a delay in a project, and as a main contractor, you should always assess the cost between the acceleration cost and liquidated damages. And the overall goal is to make sure that to complete the projects on time by spending more on acceleration costs. And the fourth one is my takeaway, contractual knowledge. So as a QS, there are always issues on the side, and by having a contractual knowledge, uh, that is your key on securing your rights. For example, if there's any issues on site, by providing proper notice and submitting a claims for any changes on your work, operations, acceleration, to make sure that you are discharging your obligation, such as if you don't complete your projects on time, you will submit reasons why, and if it's not your fault, you are discharging your obligations to notify the other party, And the last one is avoiding liabilities, because as a QS, your main goal is to secure the profit of your company. And by doing that, you should avoid all the liabilities on the project, such as paying liquidated damages, doing work for free, and making sure that each stakeholders is satisfied for your service for the future work. So I hope that you have takeaways for this case study. Back to you, AJ.
Thank you very much, Marvin Fernandez, for sharing that. It was a brief APC case study, and then it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot of information also. And it gave us like an overview on what we can look forward to, because this is applicable, your conclusion and then your observation, the the key takeaways and also the key issues there are not just experience. It's not limited to this specific case study. It can be applied, or it can be present in any other construction projects that we are in, right there. Oops, you're mute. Yes.
Sorry,
Oh, there.
I'm muted.
Okay.
So thank you, Marvin. We really learned a lot from that brief, presentation. I hope our audiences have like gained some, insights on how to what is expected in a case study.
Yes. Let's let us call in now. I think giving this experience or sharing your experience on how you've done it. It's a brief, it's like the challenge that you've gone through while doing that is, I think, concising, putting
Mm,
in your whole journey, your career journey, the key issues into a 10-minute presentation. And you've captured all the salient points over there, from the key issues and how you've addressed it, and also the takeaways, and then the potential things that we need to look into when we are doing our own case study. Or yeah, so
Yeah,
it's very
yeah,
helpful.
that's correct, AJ. Just to add as well that in preparing the case study, so all the knowledge that you have gained from your experience from the training, you will be surprised that you will be applying all those in your case study, because the way how you decide on the solution on the key issues, the way how you will get the answers on that is based on your experience and based on the trainings that you have. So I like the quote from Steve Jobs that you cannot connect the dot from forward, you can only connect it backwards. So in preparing the
mm,
case study, you are connecting those dots from your experience and from learnings. Because if I have not undertaken the APC structured trainings from PICQS, if I have not attended the trainings from Dr. Sam, I will not be able to recommend those recommendations by knowing the rights of the clients based on civil law, based on experience. I could not recommend those solutions. So you could connect all your experience and you could appreciate your experience and training on your case study, because you could connect all the dots from your previous learnings.
Yes, I agree with you. Thank you very much. So we're gonna get back to you and see you again later. We are going to invite in our virtual studio Ju Modrigo to present his case study. Thank you, Marvin.
Thanks.
Okay, now Ju, it's your turn.
okay. So
Hi, yeah,
okay,
I would
let me
like to
help.
ask Ms.
Do you,
Thea to help me on
okay,
this.
let me help you
Okay,
on sharing the screen. Give me a second here.
the case study of Ju here is the basis of termination, rectification of defects, and recovery of liquidated damages.
Yeah, we can skip
Take it
that
away, Ju.
slide. We know that. Yeah, the overview of this. This is just to give you an overview of my case study. But take note that this is now how I presented during the APC. This is just for the purpose of this patch and to give you an idea how I was able to come up with this case study. Um, the title of my case study, as just seen here, is the termination of the subcontract by the subcontractor because of the pandemic and the imposition of stringent community quarantine that time. And the issues here are the basis of the termination and the rectification of defects, and the last one is the recovery of liquidated damages. Then the period is very important. This is part of the requirements in the case study. The period of the case study was in May 2020 up to September 2020. Now, on the subcontract brief, just to give you an idea, the subcontract works here is the construction of the contractor's temporary facilities, and it's about 18 million, and the time to completion is 68 calendar days only. We are using the bespoke contract. And then the background of the issue, uh, as you all aware, it happens way back 2020 when the pandemic hit the world. All site operation in March was suspended, had been suspended because of the pandemic and the imposition of the community quarantine by the government. Then um, in May, we instructed the subcontractor to come back and resume the work. However, we received his notice to terminate the subcontract. The reason being is because of the pandemic and the community quarantine. They cannot get more workers. So by that time, on the onset, I advised the subcontractor to reconsider its decision to terminate the subcontract. The reason being is because the subcontract does not there's no mechanism in the subcontract for the termination. There's no clause for termination. Then therefore the it would not allow the parties to dissolve the subcontract, meaning it would be if the contractor will not resume to the work, it could be an abandonment essentially to his obligation, and it's essentially a breach of contract. So before the suspension of site operation, just to take note, the subcontractor was already delayed, and there were open defects, non-conformity reports, the defects of the works, and then just to jump on, while that time we were resolving that issue on termination, I in parallel I was also considering closing the final account. So I consider the value of completed works, the material on site, the non-conformity, and then the unrecoup and advance payment, then the liquidated damages for the delay. Now I will jump on the options that I considered and the recommended solutions. This is the meat of the case study. This is where I will demonstrate my competencies. So the first issue is to advise on the basis of the termination of the subcontract. Just to note, later I will discuss. First option was there was no provision in the subcontract to terminate, as I have mentioned a while ago. Therefore, the right to terminate by either parties of the parties does not exist. Then, since there's no termination clause, and the governing law, which the Philippines, the parties could resort. Um, okay, then the issue number two is to advise on the recovery of liquidated damages. Um, the option one here is to recover the maximum amount of liquidated damages. As I have mentioned a while ago, the subcontractor was already delayed before the termination, and I'm considering this option because uh, in the absence of the mechanism to terminate, as I have mentioned, it's a breach of contract, it's abandonment of his obligation. So I could impose the maximum LD. Then the next option would be was no LD to the subcontractor. The reason being is, in fairness to the subcontractor, the event that resulted to his termination of the subcontract was uh, not is beyond the control of other parties. It was a force majeure. It was a force majeure and a legislation by the government to suspend all the works because of the quarantine. So in fairness to the subcontractor, I am also considering not to impose or recover any damages. Then the option three for item 2 is to recover the liquidated damages up to the time when the subcontractor had stopped the work, meaning before the suspension. And I believe this option is more practical. I will explain later on. And then jump on to the next issue. My advice on the rectification of the defects was option 1 is to let the subcontractor do the rectification of defects. During that time, the subcontractor has workers around that he could gather to carry out the work. The contractor could arrange a vehicle to collect during the workers during. By the way, um, when we instructed the subcontractor to resume the works, this is the time where the government has permitted us to proceed to continue selected works that been allowed by the authority. So that includes the subcontract works.
Mhm.
So jumping on the next option, to have the defects rectified by another subcontractor at the cost of the contractor. As this is the same applies to option 2 of item 2, to have in fairness to the subcontractor. And then the option 3 would be to have the defects rectified by another subcontractor and recover the damages, the cost of rectification to the original subcontractor. Just only countercharging the cost of
Mhm.
the rectification. Now I will jump onto the recommendation. My recommendation for issue number 1, under the law, because of fortuitous event. That's the word that been mentioned in the civil code. But by the way, I just to be cautious when we are citing laws. We are not expert in interpreting laws. We are just basing it. We should always seek advice from the appropriate professionals, like the law expert,
Nice.
in giving advice. Here at this stage, I am just giving advice to my commercial manager, just to give him an overview of the options that we can consider. So I'm just laying down the law is available. The copy of the law is available on the internet, so you can find it. So here, under the law, because of the fortuitous event, the subcontractor has the right to terminate of the subcontract. However, um, the contractor may argue that because we instructed you to proceed with the works, because we were given already we were permitted to continue with the work, and you refused to carry out your work, you refused to resume the work. It's an abandonment of work. You were given opportunity to continue with the works. We could arrange the vehicle, we could arrange the necessary permits that you will be needing to collect your workers, but you did not continue. So
Yes.
it's
Mhm.
essentially an abandonment of your work. Now, to settle the issue, I I recommended to have it settled amicably. So in the next issue, the second issue, my recommendation was where uh, the option 3, meaning to recover the LD up to the time when the subcontractor had stopped the work. This is more fair. We are balancing the issue here. The contractor, because of the subcontractor works was not completed on time, given that there was a suspension of 2.5 months, it will be the 2.5 months will be covered and can be claimed under the main contract, because that's force major event and could be changed under changes in legislation. That's another thing, and that can be compensated later on. But since you terminated the subcontract after the suspension of 2.5 months, the extension that the works was not carried out, that was the cost that I am, as a contractor, should be compensated because of your non-performing of the works. So the contractor incurred costs for the rental of the site office, the container vans, and the head office, because the people in the head office, meaning in the Philippines, head office, are still using space so that until the temporary facilities is completed. So that's the cost that we are incurring. Then uh, by giving this recommendation, the option three is a win-win solution. The subcontractor cannot be imposed with cannot imposed with the maximum LD, and the contractor of his at least some portion of the extended cost for the rental can be recovered. So it was simply uh, settling amicably to avoid dispute. And then going to the last option, sorry, the last recommendation, sorry. In item three, I recommended the option three. There was a typo error in the left side hand to have the defects rectified by another subcontractor and recover the cost of rectification by the to the original subcontractor. So the rectification could be done early as the contractor could commission any subcontractor available at the site during the period, since we were already allowed to continue the work um, during that imposition of modified community quarantine. So we could ask somebody aside from aside from the subcontractor to carry out the work. And then the next is considering that the subcontractor does not have available manpower to carry out the rectification works. So it's only a win-win solution again. We as I mentioned a while ago, we should balance always when we give recommendation. It is not just we cannot uh, always do the unfair advantage, disadvantage to to other party. So as I mentioned a while ago, when we advise, we base it on the facts, we base it on the contracts, and also we base it on the natural law. As much as possible, we have to be fair. So jumping on to the conclusion, my advice was accepted by the management, and then the subcontractor agreed to pay the damages and the cost of rectification. Then the final account was agreed. Just to note for everyone's reference, it's very important that you could provide at least snapshots of what of the document, at least to provide evidence or prove that your case study is authentic. It's really happened. If you could provide snapshot of of the document that has your name, is very good. So this is just an example. Then the achievement. So at the end of this case study, my of giving recommendation, I achieved a win-win solution. Then the issues were settled amicably. Then it helped the parties to ease the challenges brought up by the COVID-19 pandemic by addressing the issue in a timely and fair manner. And then I was able to provide a high level of service by giving the reason informed advice, and so that the management could provide an informed decisions. Now, jumping on the last part, the lessons learned. This is the takeaways that I would like to impart to everyone. We are using a bespoke contract. In the Philippines, we normally use we don't have. It is just recently we introduced the FIDIC for the government funded for the um, bank funded projects, meaning like JICA and other international bank. But normally we use to contract. So there are still lacking. Sometimes there are missing important clauses when the event happen, when you have to do something, and we try to look at the contract. There's no mechanism in there. So here the takeaway is that the important in the clause of the contract, for example, the performance security. This is a time when if you don't have performance security clauses, uh, if there's non-performance of the subcontractor, you cannot get something immediately. So this is important. Force majeure clause. This is to give the parties a mechanism on how to settle if there's an event of force majeure. Adjustments for changes in legislation. This is also an important clause. If there are changes in legislation during the course of the contract, there are mechanisms that can be looked into later on. The termination clause for this particular K issue is important so that there will be a relief or remedy when something happened during termination. And the damages, how to apply damages, when to apply damages, what are the considerations for the damages. Then the review, and also take away here is to review the contract thoroughly before signing of the contract. Review it, identify the risk, find the exposures of liabilities in your side as a contractor and with the client. Take reasonable risk management actions. This is also important while you do the through the course of the project. Then avoid disputes as much as possible. The avoiding dispute is very important aspect in administering a contract. This just to listen the aside from listening the paperwork. This also managing the contract properly and good relationship with your client. Then last one is my recommendation is to use always the standard form of contract. Standard form of contract has been tested by many projects already all over the world. It's been prepared by lots of minds that been in the industry for long time. So I suggest that we always keep using the standard form of contract. I this that's end my presentation. I'm sorry I tend to talk faster. That's my problem. That's my challenge. I forgot to mention in my APC preparation. This is my difficulties because I tend to speak faster, and I tend to stutter. I hope you understand
You
clearly. If not, that's the reason why I laid down those words, lengthy words.
You did just great. You did that just great, Ju. It was the perfect timing and the perfect pacing of how you to deliver your case study, and we really are. Your case study is very informative. I believe a lot of our viewers have picked a number of things to remember and to, as takeaways in this contract inclined case study. You're right. During the pandemic, this is a very crucial and challenging times for all of us. And you handling that contract administration for that subcontractor. And because in Singapore, right, in Singapore, we were not allowed to impose LDs during this time of pandemic. But in the Philippines, it's a different case. So it's good that you have stepped forward and then provided these options to your employer so that they have a number of things to look into. It's like looking outside the box and seeing which option would be best for everybody. So we greatly appreciate.
There's one thing I forgot to mention. It is important also that you can, if when you deliver your case study, you should also demonstrate that you are providing. Uh, I forgot to mention in the subcontractor part. You should demonstrate that you are able to help the subcontractor as much as possible. If you could assist him
Yes,
before he could terminate the subcontract, so it could demonstrate your professional mandatory competencies.
the balance, yes, ethical
And
and fair subcontracting. Because
mm,
normally when these contracts are drafted, it's always, of course, to the benefit of the contractor or the
sure.
main contractor if you're working for the benefit of the client. So it's more on that side, but especially if it's bespoke. But as we go and administer the contract, our insights are, to give them a realization on what we can avoid, which is to avoid dispute. Yep.
In the end, just to add on, in the end, the contract is contract. The parties should always agree. They can amend the contract, they can supplement the contract, they can do addendum. It's always the parties should agree. That's why, as a QS, it is our responsibilities to provide a reasoned advice so that the management could provide also an informed decision. It should be balancing always, so that later on, if there's no mechanism in the contract, they can amend, they can make a supplement, they can make addendum to the contract.
Yes, correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes. Do you have
Thank
anything
you
to
so
add?
much. Yeah, I think he already captured those very clear. So It's actually kudos to everyone, because even if you're saying that you stutter or you speak fast, you pulled it through. Now you are corporate members. So
Yeah.
okay, so you
Yeah.
really did so well during your interview.
I'm trying,
And
Taya. I'm trying
I
really
know.
hard.
Okay, so thank you again, Drew, for sharing your case study. Now let's hear it from our last speaker, Miss Nieva, to share her case study to us tonight.
Yes. Hi, Eva. Oh,
Oh,
hi, Eva. Welcome back. And thank you once again for waiting patiently. And I believe that you've also enjoyed watching Drew and then Marvin's case study presentation.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. It's the memory came back on how to present the case study.
So it was nostalgic. Okay. So let me see whether we can pull out your presentation slide, or can you share it from your end?
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
I will
go.
share.
Okay. So the floor
Okay.
is yours, Eva. Guide.
Okay, thank you. Again, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. Actually, my case study, because due to project confidentiality, I will just present the overview of my case study, because it's not allowed for me to share a lot of things about this project. So this commercial management to MEP contractor to minimize the cost overrun and delay on the project completion. This is the title of my case study. It's focused on the solution to minimize the cost overrun and delay in handing the project of handover. Okay, this is the project particulars. Actually, this project is in Abu Dhabi. This is a twin tower office building with a lump sum type of contract, and it's a design and build, and the form of contract is a bespoke. By the way, we are the main contractor of this project. Okay. We all know that working in construction industry is always challenging with the project teams, the budget, the program, everything is a challenge. So when doing my case study, I need to manage what or to see what are the costs, like the financial difficulties, the non-payment of the suppliers and staff, more on the monetary thing, and what are the effect of this thing to the project, like it will affect the completion or the cost. And during in analyzing our case study, we need to set parameters like the time, the cost, the quality. Actually, this is it depends also on the objective of your project. So doing this, in this project, I need to find a solution or develop an option on how to complete the project in terms of time and cost and quality. So the three options that I presented to the management during that time is, first is to engage, we need to engage a new MEP contractor. Then second, I present the second option of employment of additional manpower to help MEP contractor to mitigate the delay. And my third option is the cash injection and direct payments to subcontractors and supplier of the MEP contractor. But then in these options, I need to present the advantage and disadvantage in order the management to approve my solutions. So actually, it's a tough thing because the client, there is a possibility that the client impose the liquidated damages. So so we need to understand that do, doing or proposing that option the considerations of time, like that I mentioned a while ago, the time, the cost, and quality of the project should be there. So, but the options that they approve is the third option. So, in order for us to help our MEP contract, actually, this is the best option in terms of the three parameters. Then, actually, understanding the project complexities, client requirements, and company goals help me to work out and implement this acceptable option of the changes. So during the implementation of the changes, what I've done is this the one that you can show in the screen is like, for example, the list of dues, proper monitoring of issued payment, the cost control, direct payments, monitoring progress, required paperwork. This is the most important thing, no? Because paperwork really matters, like the WIR, MIR, and third-party agreement. Because without this implementation of what I've mentioned, I'm not sure if you will be successful on the implementation of your options. Then during that time, the outcome of these options are we mitigate the delay, and the cost overrun, yeah, it's minimal, but of course, projects, sometimes you cannot control because a lot of factors. Then we maintain the quality of the project. The team working really is there because of that issue. Then we preserve our relationship to the client, and we prevented the termination of the contract of this MEP contractor. Actually, my involvement in this project was a great opportunity for and experience that enhanced my knowledge and experience in terms of critical thinking, commercial and technical knowledge, the contractual. Really, it's really tough during that time. Then part of that lesson learned that I learned in that project is brainstorming. I enhanced my team working skills. Our team really has this, we have a good team. So we help each other just to attain or to achieve this goal. Then the competent, you can see the leadership during that time is really, actually this project really teach me a lot of things, especially during that time when project is happening is I'm doing my APC. So by this project, I think all the competency in my during the time in my preparation, it's helped me a lot. So that's the only thing I can say about this project. But anyway, sorry that I cannot give you a lot of information because of the confidentiality. But the one thing that I want to tell you is when you're prepared for your case study, a lot of considerations like the time frame, of course, because PICQS and RICS has a time frame. Like for PICQS, I think it's 36 months, but I think RICS is more shorter, 24 months. So you need to consider that. And then, of course, as I told you before, it should be interesting because if not interesting, I don't know if the assessor will listen or catch their attention. So better to do to research and do a lot of brainstorming when preparing the case study. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
Yeah, even though that you're unable to share the exact details of your case study, but with what you have flashed in our screens and presented to us, already covers different aspects of quantity surveying, and you've already you showcase the critical analysis that is very important when you are planning to pursue APC, that you could, you could highlight to the assessors, and then and showcase to them that you have this critical analysis and you have these competencies, knowledge and technical aspect, and also advising and how to, study and scrutinize the situation and how you can give advice to them. So you also delivered on your case study. You've captured cost, time, and quality, and also other parts like commercial management, how you will be, maintaining the continuous relationship with your business, with other stakeholders or business partners, and also contractually you have also shared. So we really appreciate that you have shared this knowledge to us, so that our, audiences, those who will be aspiring to pursue one, would know that these are some of the, aspects or factors that are needed to be seen in their write-ups and submissions.
Yes, we really appreciate the time that you put through and your eagerness to share this to our viewers, together with Marvin and Ju, of course, and with you highlighting or removing some of those details. It's also important that when you write your case study, you have to know whether or not you'll be allowed to disclose certain parts of the project before you even write your APC or your case study. So we
Exactly.
appreciate
Yeah.
and we respect that you are bounded by the non-disclosure. So thank you, and it's also a note to our viewers to be also check that one before you write your case study. So at
To
this
be
point, we're
mindful.
going to welcome, yes, we're going to welcome Ju and Marvin back to our stage. There you go. Okay, thank you very much for holding on, and I believe that you've also enjoyed watching each other's case study and presenting them. What are your reactions while you're watching the others' case study?
It's like
What's the first impression?
yeah, I think I should go first. I think it's like reminiscing the moment when we take the APC. It's like going back, I think almost 2 years ago, on how we prepared
Yeah.
for the case study presentation, which requires not only skill on how you deliver your case study, but on how you summarize the idea within the allocated time. For PICQS is only for 5 minutes, so you need
Mhm.
to find a ways to concise the idea without uh, omitting the important key points, while shortening as much as possible to expose which is the most things that you should include on those 5 minutes to make the whole case study interesting to listen by the assessors, as well as
Mm.
they could assess you on how confident you are on presenting your case study. So I think it's quite a challenge on developing those 5 minutes presentation.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's true actually for me because I need to present 10 and 5 minutes and I don't know what I need to cut. Really, it's tough. Just for me, what I'm thinking is how I'm going to present this in PICQS with the complete or how they will understand with this 5 minutes only. That's the thing.
So it's a
For
challenge, but at the same time, you're all rewarded by it
Yeah.
that you've done it.
Anyway,
Like
we are
Jew.
successful.
yeah, for me, presenting here is challenge also for me.
Yeah.
You know why? Why? Because normally in APC final interview, the assessors already have reviewed your submission. You already know what you have written, what are the meat in your case study. Here, the viewer doesn't know what we were talking about.
Mhm.
And when AJ said that you are going to present it in 2 slides, I was okay. Okay, 2 slides. My case study was prepared for how many months? It was way 2020, 2021, 2022. Okay, and now it's 2 years ago, and 2 years ang nakalipas din. I'm going to recall what I have said. But believe
Very
me,
good.
my presentation during my APC was way different from this presentation because I have to make sure that it's worthy. Please avoid wordy presentation during your APC. The reason why I put wordy presentation here because the timing and to make sure that the viewers, if they do not understand what I'm talking about, they could read it through the presentation. That's
Uh,
my purpose of having it, and to have it
Mm-hmm.
concise in 3 slides because of having a limited time. So I hope I was able to
yes.
give you an insight of my case study and you could reflect to it. And I was able to demonstrate my competencies that I was trying to demonstrate during in that case study. So it's a challenge.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You have all three of you have done a great job. And to inform our viewers, actually they have done this separate slide especially for the purpose of patch. And then they have to tweak their slides so that it would be concise as much as it would be as brief as possible, but you can still get the salient points from there, the lessons learned, and also what should what you should present and what should you look for while you're developing your case study. So thank you very much, the three of you.
And
Thea?
lastly, AJ,
Oh,
sorry,
you
I
go
have
ahead.
to add this one. This is my personal experience. Writing is no problem with me. Delivering your presentation is a very big problem for me. The reason being is because of my way of talking. I tend to talk faster, and that's a great challenge. I cannot enunciate the correct word. When I start talking, it's and nobody can understand what I'm talking about. So I hope you have to when you do your presentation, make sure that you are come and you practice your presentation many times, have your mock interviews with your assessors and other mentors, because that's the way you can deliver a good presentation. Remember, you only have given 5 minutes, and that's 5 minutes is the only 5 minutes that you can control the whole 1 hour interview of your final interview. And that's the only 5 minutes that you can say this is my 5 minutes, and it will give you my best. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Marvin?
Yeah, I think my overall recommendations for aspiring QS for the RPC is uh, start as soon as possible writing your summary of experience. Believe me, you will be surprised that while you are filling those forms for summary of experience, you will be surprised that most of the requirements, mandatory competencies, and all other competencies you have already experienced. Don't because as a human we have this in mind that we are hesitating and we are procrastinating on things that we should do. But once you start writing this on paper, writing one by one the competency, you will be surprised that all of those competencies you have already experienced is just that you don't know yet that that is the competency. The second one is on developing your case study. You should select the case study that you are main or confidently involved on that case study. So when the question of the assessor arise during the APC, you will recall because you could prepare as much as possible for the APC using the mock interview. For myself, I have 17 mock interview. And
Wow.
Whoa.
yeah, on the day of the APC, there's still two questions on the APC that I have not encountered. And because I was mainly involved on that APC, I managed to succeeded on that question. And each question during the APC is critical. It's either pass or break your APC.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the main thing. So don't be afraid on failing on your APC at first. For myself, I have already conditioned my mind that even though I will fail the first take, I will still continue. But the first take, I got it. So
Uh,
yeah, so don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to try all that has been experienced APC, they will tell you that at the start they could not see that they could pass the APC, but through hard work, dedication, and confidence that you will gain during your preparation, you will pass your APC.
Thank you
All
very
17
much,
right.
mock
Marvin, for
interviews.
that.
Thank you so much.
17 mock
Let's hear it
interviews.
from
Wow.
Nieva.
Okay.
17 mock interviews. How about you, Drew? How many was that? How
I
many
have
mock?
my informal interview with my mentor in BPJC. I have my formal interview, mock interview with with one Taya and Miss Noemi and who else?
Arvin.
Arvin. And I have
Mm.
my grand mock. I have only three interviews. Okay.
Wow.
I guess
The
just
reason
over
why
here.
my last formal interview with Miss Noemi and Taya, I feel down. I feel terrible. I said I will not do any mock interviews anymore until I'm ready. It's not advisable, really, guys. It's not advisable to have that max interview. I suggest to have more interviews so you can practice your presentation and how to answer a question. What I've done is I don't know how you call it, but I did not work for 3 days before my interview. I focus on my write ups. That's the tip. Focus on your write ups because the question will come up from your write ups. And
Mm,
again,
yeah.
that is why it's very important to make sure that your write ups are true, are facts, and you are honest. Because if you answer questions, it will become natural. The guidance, the standard practice, it will help along the way. But at the end, it is you who will be demonstrating your competencies. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that, Drew. How about Nieva for your takeaway?
Okay, for my takeaway, actually, we all know that the first step is always the harder. So you need to take that first step. So during my APC, actually during my training, one of my friend told me that I cannot I can the what you call that he told me that the improvement is really different when he see me during the mock. Because the first day I joined the POP 2, I'm really, I cannot say anything. I'm stuck. Then, but during the mock, when he see me after my mock interview, he told me, "Really, you've done really different. Your confidence and how you answer is structured, something like that. Really, after that mock, instantly I received that message. So anyway, during that time, it boost my confidence because I know myself. I'm more on. I'm not on the people person. So, but by this training of the POP 2, and really, I cannot, even when I joined the APC, I enrolled my RICS, APC. I didn't expect that I will pass the interview because it's just a try. Because I want to try. I need to do that first step in my career. So the self fulfillment is really if you achieve and receive the message that you pass the APC, really, it's really different. That's the only thing I can see.
Overwhelming. It's very overwhelming to,
Yeah.
to see the result. So, as I've been doing mock assessments, I have done mock assessments, I think, to all of our speakers. So, as an assessor, you could tell if they will pass. There might be at the beginning. I've been a candidate as well. I've also done several mock interviews as well. uh you could tell that from the start what had been the comments until you do several mock interviews, and then indeed when you're very close to the APC interview, then you could tell that you had improvement. So when as an assessor, you could tell from your the candidates, and I could tell from the three of them that they would pass. So you could see the difference when you are training at POP 2. You see them how they grow over time, and it's really the effort of the candidate. It's not from mentors or the assessor. We are just here to guide you. We are just here to support, to listen and to review your write-ups, to listen from you and to give you, tips or guidance, but it's always on the candidate. So all the credits is to the candidate because it's the effort that they have been, exerting. They have been sparing their time, sacrificing time from for the family, but for the career, which is also the goal is to benefit the family as well. So it's really, it's all on you. So congratulations on passing the PICQS APC and to Miss Neva for RICS. And we are also looking forward for Ju and Marvin. I know you are going there soon to be a chartered quantity surveyor as well. And again, to Miss AJ here, she's also a product of our structured trainings, counseled and mentored by our fellow member of PICQS. So congratulations to everyone.
Yes, so we have been in this patch 13 session for almost 2 hours now. The 2 hours and 15 minutes to be honest.
Over.
And we normally have like an hour and a half for the whole program, but thanks to you because it's been a journey of knowledge for this patch session. It's been a
Mhm.
session of full of knowledge, full of tips, full of takeaways for all of us viewers who are wishing and who wanted to take a step forward. And I believe that when they see this, when they see patch, when they see you do the sharing, when they see you in how you have presented your case studies and say everybody else can do it. If I can do it, why can't you? So it's just a matter of time management, discipline, consistency, everything that you have mentioned throughout our entire interview. We really appreciate you stepping forward and then do this sharing for all of us. And so, without further ado, we wouldn't
Sorry,
want to take your whole
uh,
evening. Yes,
sorry. We also want to take our audience who stayed with us the whole
yes, of
2 hours.
course.
Yes, our 25
Yes, of
million,
course.
25
Our
million
25 million
viewers.
viewers.
Yeah, we would like to thank everyone for staying, tuning with us. The over 2 hours of sharing of experiences and learning from our speaker our guest for tonight. And again,
Yes.
without further
And
ado,
who knows? Who
Uh,
knows? Maybe one
I,
of them could be our next patch featured guest.
yeah.
One of,
yes.
Yeah.
so the
AJ,
challenge. Good.
yeah, can I have a last word?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. So, thank you for inviting us on this patch, and we could, share our experience to fellow QS. And I would like to thank PICQS being my ladder in discovering QS profession. What are the right practices? And for all the volunteers in the structured training who provided their valuable time in sharing their knowledge to fellow QS to develop on the competencies such as myself. I'm a proud product of PICQS. I was honed and developed under the structured training of PICQS, and I'm grateful on the knowledge that I have learned here, especially to my mentor, Ma'am Lilian and Ma'am Noemi. I really appreciate their guidance over my APC journey. And to all my APC mock interview assessor, I could not mention all the 17 assessors. I would like to thank all of them, and I would like to thank my family and my wife, Shayani, for uh, understanding and supporting me on my APC journey. I could not do it without them. So yeah, thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Marvin. How about you? Do you have some
Yeah.
last words, but your parting words for our patch
Parting
session?
words would be I would like to say thank you so much, AJ and Thea, for having Patch. You've been doing really good for 13 session already. Congratulations and sana magkaroon kayo ng ano ba tawag dun sa YouTube? Silver, gold, whatever it is. Um, I personally, I want to express my gratitude to PICQS for having, for bringing this kind of institution in the Philippines to the founder chair because siguro kung walang PICQS, I could not be like, I would not be here. Um, I could not achieve more without the help of PICQS. And also to NVP JC, he done a lot of help, guidance, mentoring to me. I could not achieve all of this without his help, really. And lastly, I want to say is to those who are still planning to be a corporate member or want to take APC, my only advice is to go for it. Do not waste time and just be determined. Do your best. Aim 100%. If you fail, at least you aim 100%. If you fail 90, you will still pass, right? So you have to do your best. I just want to share my experience when I passed my when I finished I completed my interview. A few seconds after that, I breathed a long breath. Then I immediately texted NVP JC. I just said, "Sir, it's done." And he said, "How is it?" I said, "I've done my best," and that's it. Because when you did your best, there's no regrets. You've done your best. If you fail, you've done your best. There's no regret. Then I have to do it again and do double my best, right? So you have to do it. Failure is nothing. It's just part of the process. If do not be afraid to fail. It's part of the process. Okay. So again, thank you so much, PSQS. Thank you, AG, and thank you, Taya. And
You're welcome.
congratulations, Marvin and Miss Niaba.
Okay, now it's Nieva's turn.
Okay. For me, first, of course, I want to thank both of you for inviting us, for sharing, actually, not only them, we also, the sharing thing, I also learned. Then, second is my mentor, Miss Noemi Kulala. I cannot forget how she helped me on this journey. Really, she is the best or the best person that I can say that she is part of my achievements actually. Then for the PICQS, of course, PICQS is part of this achievement because without the PAP2, this training, I'm not sure if I can do it. So that's all. The thing that I want to tell to everyone that first, do the first step. If you are afraid, ask for help. And if you ask for help, someone will help you. And anyway, PICQS is there. A lot of people are there and they are willing to support everyone. Me, to be honest, I've done a lot of mock interviews. And when I send message to them, they automatically say yes. And I am very thankful to all the PICQS member that accept my request for the mock interview. And really, I learned a lot in the mock interview because, you know, their questions, of course, you cannot anticipate their questions. Every one of them have their own. So by this mock, on my final interview, I'm anticipating. Anyway, you cannot anticipate the question, but then you are prepared and you are confident because of this mock. That's it. That's the only thing. Just practice, practice, and focus. Thank
Oh,
you.
yes. Thank you very much, Nieva. And Antea?
Yes. Okay. Oh, I mean, uh, again, thank you to our speaker, to our guest speakers tonight, to our guest, for again for sparing your time and then preparing actually your slides. And I know you have to recall it because it's been how long? 2 years, since then. And I know that this time you should be spending more time with your family, especially AJ, the efforts that she's exerting to this patch. You just don't know how much she's giving, her time and effort, to just to make this live streaming successful. Thank you so much, AJ, for your continued support to the organization. And to Marvin, to June, to Nieva, I've been there during your journey. I've seen how much you grow, how much you have, really pushed hard, just and committed on, on your APC journey. I know the struggle also, it's difficult. I've been there as well. I feel you all, how, the challenges that you have experienced, especially with the family and your time. But thank you for spending time with us for the last 2 hours and a half. Actually, we've been together for over 3 hours already. Uh, thank you. And we hope that you will continuously support PICQS and those who are, aspiring to becoming a certified quantity surveyor. I know you also want them to be part of this, joy, no, of this, experience and this feeling. And I know you also want them to feel the benefit that you are experiencing right now. So again, thank you. We hope to see you soon again. And AJ, thank you also. Thank you also, Ju, for being our Papuan Global Committee Head. For that, a lot of QS professionals are learning the best practice of quantity surveying.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also to our audiences, please approach anyone. Like Miss Nieva kept on saying, you need to have to take the first step to move forward, and the rest is no, the help is there. You just need to ask for help, and PICQS will be there to help you. All right.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Thea, for that wonderful message, and also from our three featured guests for this session of Patch. Before I leave you to your own time, let us just thank our viewers for sticking with us all throughout these 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I would like to flash the comment of Annie. It's my first time watching the patch, and this session has been truly worthwhile. Thanks to the speakers and hosts. Kudos and congrats to you all. Thank you very much, Annie, for staying tuned in. And if you would like to see more of the patch sessions, you can go to the YouTube channel Patch with PICQS, and there are also a number of case studies being presented there. And Jose Carlo Padilla, JC, thank you very much, MVP. All of these, Jew, is because of your hard work. I was just there to push and cheer on you. Thank you so much. Okay, and of course we have Chair
From Chair
Julie,
Julie, being
from
a
Chair Julie being
certified member is still a small portion of our membership. I am truly proud of our APC pastors, and I encourage all our members to pursue their PICQS APC.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair, and thank you very much, everyone, for staying tuned in. And thank you very much, Nieva, Ju, and Marvin, for sharing your case studies with all of us here in the patch session and 13th session. And if we can do this all together, we are
We
proud
are proud
members.
member of
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 PICQS.
PICQS.
one more
Yes,
time.
and see you. Let's do it again.
See you
Okay,
next.
one and two and three. We are
We
proud
are
Proud
proud
We're
members
members
of
proud
of
members
members
of
of
PICQS.
PSQS.
PICQS.
See
See
you
you
in
in
the
the
next
next session.
batch session. Okay.
All right.
We're gonna have to do another interview from the start before we can do that again. But yes, thank you very much, everyone, for staying with us, and we
Thank
hope that we
you.
have given you a lot of takeaways for tonight. See you in the next patch session. God bless and have a good rest of the weekend.